So today I'm going to talk about the automation portal, which is designed to simplify the installation process of CloudStack. That includes the CloudStack management clusters, your DB clusters, and prepare your KVM host, so everything. So the agenda would be today the why it was needed and what we built. So as of now, I've just built three modules which I'll go through, and what is the technical stack what I've used, and what is the benefits, and what are we going to do next, and that's it. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is Vivek Kumar. I'm working in Noida as a lead DevOps engineer. Also, I lead the implementation of projects. So while doing, the implementation of projects, so there is a phase, where we see that there is a lot of time which we need to spend on the installation of our management stack, which means the installation of CloudStack management servers, building your DB stack, installing your KVM host. So these were few challenges, like it was manual, you know uh, it was very time consuming process, repeated, uh, and in KVM there was, like, networking configuration changes, configuration, and the bridge and bond, everything we need to create, right? And so there are, like, so when we do manual, the human errors occurs, like the configuration mismatch. So for, to overcome those risks, so we just created, a web-based GUI portal where you can simply define your inventory and it will, install everything for you. So what we built, so I just simply built a Flask-based automation portal, which is, so as of now I've just created three modules here. So one is your configuration CloudStack. So it will ask you that how many number of VMs do you have for CloudStack installation, CloudStack management. It will set up the CloudStack installation, and it will also set up the MySQL cluster, which is in master slave replication, and also set up your entire KVM host, including your bridge, bonding, networking stack, everything. So there are three main component of this portal as of now. So one component is install configure management DB server. So this will allow you to create one-click deployment for your MySQL master slave replication and your CloudStack management servers. Second one is the install and configure KVM host. So it will, install all the required packages for your CloudStack, install and configure the KVM CloudStack related configuration. It will also help you to, create a bridge, bond, and it will, that's it. And there is third module which is called CloudStack test cases. So idea was, to set up a complete flow. So one, you install CloudStack management and DB cluster, then you set up the KVM host, you configure the zone, and then you run certain test cases. Suppose if I want to test the BPC workflow, like suppose I've set up a new CloudStack and I just wanted to see whether my BPC workflow is working or not. So you can create multiple workflows as per your requirement. Um, that's it. So first module is CloudStack management and DB. So basically, it will just ask you to, it will, so you have to define the number of management VMs and the DB nodes, and for that, it will dynamically, give you a form where you will provide certain details. So what is doing at the backend? It is basically generating a inventory for the Ansible playbook, and it will generate the variables, and then it will simply run the Ansible playbook to configure your entire CloudStack management. Second one is for the installing KVM host. It will when you click, so it will ask you certain details. I will show in the demo that how many numbers hosts do you have, how many NICs do you have, what would be the bond and bridge configuration, and it will also, create a dynamically. It will create inventory dynamically, and, netplan config for each host, and then it will apply the netplan config, installation of KVM, and configuring IP and everything. And third one is the CloudStack test cases, where when you select this, it will ask you to, fill like few details, like what is the API and secret key of your CloudStack, what is the zone name for that, and after that you will have the list of CloudStack playbook, which is already there predefined, and you run the playbook, and that's it. So before jumping to technical stack, let me just give you. So this is how the portal looks like. Um, So as of now, I have just added the three components. So when we click on the first install and management server, this will ask you that how many servers do you have. Like suppose I said that I have two management server and two database server. So if I say two and two, sorry, right? So it will give you this form. So we need to define, so what would be a management first IP, what would be my second IP. For example, this is my host name. Okay, it's gonna take time because, right? So you have to fill like so in management you because the technical guy knows when we set up CloudStack. So on the only on the one node we have to set a deploy as a root, right? So that is why I've selected master. So if you select a master, it means on this node it will deploy as a root. Otherwise, on all the nodes which you define, it will simply join. And same for the databases. So suppose if you have two or three or four databases, you have to define which one I'm going to keep master, and you fill all the details. And this is the MySQL configuration. We have to define like what would be the master IP for my MySQL in that cluster, what would be my MySQL password. Since we are also setting up the MySQL master and slave replication, so you define the slave username and password, and what would be the CloudDB password, and then you save and then run. Uh, right, so this is the first part. Second part is install KVM host. This is like suppose how many number of KVM hosts do you have? You suppose you have two. And how many NICs do you have? You suppose you said I have two NICs. And sometimes it happens that you have multiple servers, but the internal NIC naming convention is different. Suppose in one server is each 0 and 1 and 1, and second server is each 2 is 3, right? So this is why this checkbox is here. If you do not have same network configuration, you just click on next. Then it will create, like it will give you a form for each host. So from each host you define IP address, number of NICs, NIC1 name, suppose ETH1 and 2, what would be the bond name for that, and what would be the interfaces in that bond, and what would be your bridge name and the bridge bond interface, and the subnet mask gateway DNS, and then you define the second KVM node and host name, same for that. But if you have the same networking stack, this obviously you don't have to fill again and again. So that is why this option is here, all hosts having same networking config. It means, so all the bridge and bond detail you have to fill once, right? And rest your KVM host one, and what would be the host name for that KVM. Uh, and my last one is CloudStack test case, where you have to define API URL, API key, secret key, zone name, and then it will give you the list. Okay, so now it's okay. So just to avoid the demo jinx, I have so recording for that, right? Wait. So I have two virtual machines as of now. So 130 and 131 is a fresh machine. There is nothing installed on it. So I'm going to my portal. So I define the count, and I fill all the necessary information. Right. So now I'm defining all the necessary password. That what would be my MySQL password, what would be my CloudStack password. Then I save all the details. So it will ask you the confirmation that this is what you have uh, reviewed, and just click on the install. No, that's why we have defined, right? The form which you have defined that how many management server do you have, or how many DB servers do you have. Then it will open a form that enter your management server details and then your DB details. Hmm? That will come in a second module. This is for the management and the DB setup. Yeah. So in this test up, yeah, these are virtual machines. No, no, management server is already there. You have already created virtual machines. You have this is what we are doing. This is automating installing your CloudStack. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So this MySQL it has configured and it is now setting up the master and slave replication on those two virtual machines. Yes. So MySQL master slave replication will be set up for you. So MySQL is installed. So let's go to the virtual machine and see. So I've already installed, like logged into the virtual machine. Let's see does the replication set up or not. So this is on the primary. Let's go to secondary and see whether replication is working properly or not. So on the single click, you have set up a master production ready master MySQL master server replication. Now it is installing the CloudStack. So CloudStack is also done. Let's check. So once done, you just have to open the CloudStack dashboard. That's it. Right. So CloudStack is done. Now let's go to and configure then one KVM. So I have one KVM machine, so which is fresh machine. We don't have any bonding and we are bridging and all. 129 that's IP. And if you see, there is no CloudStack agent services as of now. Right. Let's go to the automation portal where. So I have only one host for the testing purpose. I have only one NIC. So I'm going to define what is my Ethernet name and what would be my bridge name and what would be the interface in my bridge, subnet and the IP address and the DNS. And now this is the IP address of my KBM host. I don't know who was asking the question, but this is where I defined this. This is going to be my KBM host. So now it will install and set up and configure the CloudStack KVM everything. Sorry, there was extra space in that, so I just uh, correct it and retry. So now it is configuring the host name which you provided, and it is doing the bridge and bonding whatever you defined in the form. So it is generated dynamically generated the netman configuration applied, and it just reboot the host to take all the changes. Now the host came back. It try to connect, and it will do all the changes. Like what are the changes for the libbird configuration file, the CloudStack management, and everything. It will do it for you. That's it. It will also generate a MySQL the root password, because sometimes uh, because I always add host as a root, so it is required to enable the permit root password, yes. And so now everything is ready. Now I just need to create a zone. So this I'm gonna do slightly fast. Now it's done. So now you see you don't have to do it. You don't have to log into the machines and install everything. You just have to fill few values and click next, and it will create CloudStack for me. So practically, it took around 20-25 minutes to create the entire infrastructure. And since we are working with Ansible, it works parallelly. So it means that if you are installing 10 or 20 or 30 hosts, doesn't matter, right? So everything is up and ready. Uh, the next is this one is for the use case which I was talking about, the third module. So go to the CloudStack test cases. Just uh, fill the API keys and the necessary details, the URL endpoint and the API key and secret key and the zone name, right? So these are the predefined workflows which you have to define. So as of now, I'm just trying to give it the VPC workflow. So in this create, it will create a VPC, it will create a tier, it will create a virtual machine. So you can define your use case as per your environment, like the Kubernetes workflow and everything. Right? So it was a complete demo. So I just demonstrated, create a complete, deploy the CloudStack and management in high availability, also with the KVM host, with the portal. So this was a technical, this was the stack which I've used. So I've just used for the front end, back end, Flask and HTML Bootstrap and Jinja 2 templates. And what are the key benefits? Obviously, so this you will see that you have already seen that within 15-20 minutes we have deployed our entire cloud stack with DB in active passive mode, and we have also installed KVM host. You just have to add in the zone. So this will obviously reduce, the time, the manual time taking, from engineer to, configure manually, or also it will require some kind of expertise at least you want to do automation. So now from this portal, a non-tech or any of the new joinee in your team, that you can easily install the CloudStack and deploy it. Right. So what next? So I would like to add a few more in my portal. So suppose storage and installation, right? Suppose if any other vendor come and help that, this is the steps, this is how your storage is going to be installed. We can also automate that, and we have then monitoring and set up logging for automation. So these are the next step. Uh, Thank you so much, guys. So that's it from my side. Any questions so far, guys?
We plan to automate zone deployment as
Which
zone deployment.
zone deployment? Okay, so I that was not a big deal, but why I didn't do it, because it's already GUI and it's a very good GUI, right? You have just to click next and next. So that is why I haven't automated, because it hardly take 5 minutes, right? But obviously we can do that.